I've got all my props with me because I'm comfortable with props. You all do the electronic thing, so I may or may not get it. However, 30 years ago tomorrow, February 28th, in the Daily Breeze, I read to you, "A streak of stealing that just won't stop. Burglars doing best to slowly sack Manhattan Beach." Well, this was an article that piqued not only my interest, but a conversation with my husband, Russ, who was a relatively new councilman. And I said, "Hey, Russ, 110 burglaries in Manhattan Beach in 1 month. What are we going to do about that?" I have an idea. I went to a PTA conference, being, of course, involved in my children's schools and so forth, and I learned about a program that had been initiated by the Office of Criminal Justice Planning and the Sheriff's Departments called Neighborhood Watch. I said, why don't we have a Neighborhood Watch here? So Russ took the idea and my encouragement and went to his colleagues and to the city manager and said, you know, my wife has this idea that maybe she could work with a group of citizens and help out the police department and institute the Neighborhood Watch program here in Manhattan Beach. Well, I think there was a lot of discussion because it kind of died for several weeks, maybe even a month. And one night, Russ came home and said, okay, you got it. Now, what are you going to do about it? So I said, okay, this is for real. It's really going to happen. So I was excited, and I knew that we had to do a lot of really good planning. Certainly, the communication that we had here was terrific. Let's see if I push this and something wonderful happens. There we are. We had to do some planning. And with Russ's help, and also with 3 of the police reserves who were dedicated to the program, we did some research of programs that were effective throughout our communities, mostly in Orange County at that time and San Diego County. So we brought back the ideas, we created the game plan, we knew we had 3 kind of responsibilities that we needed, is to take to the blocks information about how to mutually work together, how to protect your home, keep safe, and if you've got somebody on the street who shouldn't be there or has perpetrated a crime, kind of how you describe that suspicious or that person. So we put the program together. We organized it, and then with the wonderful help of the Beach Reporter, who continued to say, hey, we've got a problem, we announced a meeting, which was held 30 years ago in late April. And we thought, oh, just like the run, 2 or 3 people would come out, nobody cares. Well, we had about 400 people here in this room wanting to know what they could do and how they could help, how they could do something to assist the wonderful men and women of the police department in creating a safer community here in Manhattan Beach. We gathered, we had a great meeting, we showed what Neighborhood Watch was about, how the meetings were easy to host on that in your street, and why don't you all join in? We handed out 3x5 cards and we said, hey, if you want to give your life to it, we'll take it. If you want to be just a block captain on your block or just participate, we're happy for anything that you can do. 100 people that time turned in cards which indicated that they wanted to be actively involved in Neighborhood Watch. And some indeed had agreed to give their life to the program. Okay, so there we were. The idea, Neighborhood Watch. Develop the plan. That's our next step. We needed to engage and involve more of the community. We needed to have a process whereby we would take the ideas and the information through the neighborhood programs on the blocks. And what we did was to assign each of the 3 police reserves who now had a speech to give in the various community meeting groups, and to spend an hour and explain how Neighborhood Watch would work. These 3 police reserves worked with 5 area coordinators and took 2 meetings each of Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 and 8:15, for 3 years to people proactively within the community. And it was the area coordinators and those of us that went to every meeting we could think of, the PTA meetings, the church meetings, the Soroptimist Club meetings, the AYSO meetings, and told people in the community, hey, we're here for you. All you have to do is open your home. After those 3 years, we had covered about 85% of our community, had had an opportunity to hear the spiel, to participate in Neighborhood Watch, and to be actively involved. That's a pretty amazing thing. When you also think that at the end of those 3 years, we were wearing buttons that said 22. 22. That's how many burglaries there were in the month of February, 3 years later. Now, I don't mean to minimize the action and the embracing of this program by our police department and the police personnel, because it is through their interaction that we actually were able to move forward and change and mold ourselves so that we became vital and important to this community. We hold 2 meetings in this room each year. One focuses on crime and what's happening in the community. The other is an expansion of what we have ourselves. And that is, we've moved a little bit into helping people understand emergency preparedness. And it was a natural, because we were called upon 2 or 3 times when we've had some incidents in town, either relating to power that went out, power outages, or relating to some water problems, where we've been asked to use our network, which is 465 block captains strong, to get that information out to our community. And so we moved a little bit into also including emergency prep. So we do both of those 2 things together. There have been a lot of other things. Junior Neighborhood Watch. Let's see, I have a slide somewhere here. This shows you our grid that we used, which were the police reporting districts. These are the happy group of coordinating, working together. We meet once a month to talk about Neighborhood Watch and its issues. This shows sort of what happens when you form a good relationship. We consider ourselves a volunteer public relationship with the police and now fire department. But it shows you some of the things that we've been able to connect with. A Junior Neighborhood Watch program. We, for years, of course, had to go to the community. We had no money, so we helped with the police auction, and now we receive the funds from one of the programs that they do through the internet. We used to have telephone trees. Now we have e-trees. We've come into the 21st century. We had no secretary or nobody to help us with that. Now we have a paid person and a relationship with liaison there at the police department. Lots of our programs, Business Watch, we participate in the Crime Watch. On TV, we associate with CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team. We're just glad to be there 30 years later, alive, active, replacing ourselves when people move, or for heaven's sakes, we've had 2 of our original area coordinators who have died in the last year, have new people that come in, and you could be one of those people if you're not already there. And we, as a group, are proud of all the accolades that this program and the people involved in it have had. So I want to thank you, those of you, there's several in the audience who I know are part of Neighborhood Watch, for being there, and I want to thank you, all of you, who will be part of it in the future. Thank you.